Hi everyone, I'm Angelique and this is a video about why we need to abolish abortion in our lifetimes. And I'm making this video because I often get the question, why do you care so much? And why are you focusing so much of your time and your life to the issue of abortion, to the issue of, ending this human rights injustice? And I want to talk about that because it's a great question. It's an important question to ask. Whenever someone is spending such a large focus of their time on one thing, you want to know, you kind of want to ask the question, like, is it worth it? And for me, it is 1000% worth it. If any of my work can ever, at any point in my life, change or shape even just the tiniest little bit of someone else's life, or potentially save someone's life, or just change a mind in even the slightest, smallest way, then I know that it was worth it. So, of course, the goal is to do that times a million, but I'm only one person who can only do so much. And that is why I want to make these videos, and I want to share the pro-life message as far and wide as I can in order to bring about the most change and to bring about the most support for this issue. And so to talk about why am I pro-life and why does it matter so much to care so much about this issue? And I think there's really three aspects to it that have kept me going. And the first one would be who the preborn are and who are we fighting for? Who are the victims of abortion that need our voices in order to live? That's number one. And acknowledging the humanity of the preborn. The second aspect is understanding and exposing the incredibly violent and horribly tragic, crime of abortion. And even though it's not a crime by law, it is a crime by humanity. And when it becomes a crime by law, we will look back and we will ask ourselves, how did we let this happen? And the only way that we cannot ask ourselves that when we look back is if we actually did something to fight against it, so that we know that we did everything that we could to end abortion while it was still legal and while it was still acceptable in society. And then the third aspect of this issue that is very, very important to keep in mind and is a huge aspect of the entire movement is supporting women, supporting mothers, and making sure that we are the side that champions the love of the mother who is facing an unplanned pregnancy. Because a mother with an unplanned pregnancy can call Planned Parenthood right now and, desperately ask for help. What kind of help is Planned Parenthood going to give them? The option for abortion, and that's the only option. They're going to try to convince this mother, this new mother, who is scared and vulnerable and not sure what to do, they're going to sell her an abortion. They're going to sell her the ability to end her child's life and never look back and never follow up and never see, is this harming women? Because it is. And one of the biggest tragedies in that specific context, in that specific aspect of this movement, is the fact that we do live in a culture that celebrates abortion and sees abortion as truly acceptable, and not even acceptable, but a woman's right to choose. And because of this, we have thousands of women, thousands of mothers who had abortions feel regret, feel remorse, feel pain from having ended their child's life. And they can't heal from it, and they can't get past it because they're constantly being told by the society around them, by the culture around them, and by the people who support abortion around them that they didn't do anything wrong, and there wasn't ever a baby there, and you didn't kill a baby, and abortion is okay, and abortion just takes away a clump of cells. And all of these lies to betray women and to betray mothers who are struggling with the reality that they did, in fact, in their baby's life. And so that is why that's the third, I see that as a very, as the third pivotal aspect of this issue. So those are the three main, I would say, pillars of why and what I'm fighting for and what we all are fighting for in the pro-life movement. You know, we're fighting for the preborn baby so that the world can see the humanity of the preborn. I mean, when you look at Roe v. Wade, when it was decided, within Roe v. Wade, they said, we will re-examine this law. We will re-examine this court case when we know more about when life begins. That was over 40 years ago, and now we have 40 ultrasounds. So there is no excuse for anyone on this earth to not know that human life begins at the moment of conception. There is no excuse why any human being should continue believing that a preborn baby is not a unique, distinct, living human being who should have the same exact rights as all of us as human beings, the right to life and the right to live. And so we need to re-examine that, and we need to make sure that people see human life from its very beginning stages and recognize it. And then, of course, the second pivotal aspect of the movement, abortion types and abortion. What is abortion? What actually happens in an abortion? And oftentimes I find that this is another big, misconception, another area where people just don't realize the gravity of what is going on in an abortion. So just like the society lies and suggests that human life doesn't begin when human life does begin scientifically, there's also the lie of what an abortion is. And telling people and trying to convince an entire society of people that abortion is just no big deal, just removing a clump of cells. And, with RU46 being introduced, the abortion pill, and that's become the most popular abortion type at this point, and making it just easy, just quick and easy, in and out, like it's just another errand on your to-do list. Abortion systematically and violently takes a human being's life. And the abortion industry is treating it like it's a coffee run. Like, oh, just stop by the clinic, pick up your pills, and your baby's gone. But they don't even say baby. It's just your pregnancy is terminated. Like, well, what's in a pregnancy? A baby. But only when you want it. Only when you want the baby. There's a baby there. So that is the secondary aspect, is just uncovering the truth and the reality of abortion and sharing it with the world and making sure people know this is actually what goes on. This is what happens in a late-term abortion when they insert digoxin into a human baby who is in its later stages of development and stops their heartbeat, killing them first, and then inducing labor to remove them from the mother. Like, the absolute insanity of that. And people don't realize this. People are still walking around on this earth saying, there's no such thing as late-term abortion, or like, there's not that many late-term abortions, it's rare. There's over 10,000 late-term abortions every year in the United States alone. How is that rare? That is not rare. That's 10,000 lives who are just taken. And those are just late-term abortions. And finally, the third aspect is supporting mothers and making sure that they know that the pro-life movement is the place to go when they are struggling, when they are scared, when they don't know what to do. And yes, these mothers are the ones who are going to the clinics and ending their child's lives. That is true. That is a fact. However, we live in a culture and a society where abortion is fed to women as it's being sold to women and being marketed to women And when you're dealing with, a multi-billion-dollar industry, it's a company that's only focus is money. They do not care about women. And the irony of their slogan being care no matter what is unbelievable. Planned Parenthood does not care about you. Planned Parenthood does not care about women. They only care about making money. They actually have abortion quotas that they have to fulfill on a daily basis. So they're selling abortions to women as if it's a product that they need, like it's makeup, like they're marketing makeup to women. It's an entire industry that its sole focus is to make money, and they're preying on the vulnerability and the fear of women, of young girls who have nowhere to turn to. They've been abandoned by their families, they have been abandoned by their friends, or their friends have said, I support you no matter what you choose. But they don't actually support them. They just say, you're on your own now. Like, you can do whatever you feel you need to do with your body. It's your body, your choice. So when they're being told your body, your choice, not only is that not accurate, because we all know there's a secondary body involved, but that's also just putting someone aside. It's pushing someone aside and saying, that's on you, sweetie. You have to handle that yourself. There's no support there. There's no guiding hand, there's no loving heart, there's no listening ear. And that is why we as a pro-life movement need to be that for these mothers and for these young girls who have ended up in a situation that they don't know the answer to anymore. They're lost. They may become victims as well of the abortion industry by being sold lies and not knowing the difference between truth and the information they're being fed by the abortion industry. So it's so important that we use education and we spread awareness about not only the reality of the preborn and who the preborn are and who that is that's growing inside of you as a pregnant mother, but also what is happening in abortion and why this is such a violent and a horrific act that needs to be ended, and why it also hurts women and can damage them for the rest of their lives, both mentally and physically, and why it's so important to support mothers at every stage, whether it's before they become pregnant for education purposes, while they're pregnant so that they know that they should continue choosing life every step of the way and that there's someone with them to guide them along with it, and post-birth to make sure that they are supported as mothers for the rest of time. Because as soon as that baby is conceived, they're a mother. And we need to make sure that they have the resources to make sure that their baby is protected at every turn. Because at every turn, the abortion industry will try their very hardest to market abortion to them, and we can't let that happen. So these are my three big aspects, the big aspects of the pro-life movement that I focus on, that I see as those pivotal aspects of education and of awareness that we need to get out into the world to share with every person that we can come in contact with, so that we can ultimately change hearts and minds on this issue. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will be making more videos like this to expand on the different issues that I've talked about, because I know this one was more of a general overview of the pro-life movement and human development, abortion types, and supporting mothers. Kind of just like a surface level brush through of why it's important to be pro-life. But in future videos, I will be going more in depth into these aspects. So if you are interested and you enjoyed listening to this, first of all, thank you. I really do appreciate you taking the time to hear me. And if you're interested in seeing more videos like these, please do hit the like button and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you can stay tuned for all of the future content that I put out. Thank you again, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.